Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from. We are here this morning with Kyle Haviland, and Kyle is he works with Pipsqueak Network Scanner. So, Kyle, tell us a little bit about Pipsqueak Network Scanner. What is Pipsqueak Network Scanner?
Pipsqueak Network Scanner is a SaaS tool specifically engineered to scan your lead networks and your internal customer networks and give you greater visibility into what's there, where the bodies are buried, what problems the client has, and communicate that to the client in a friendly manner.
I love it. So, where the bodies are buried. So, do you guys find a lot of bodies when you do these scans?
When you perform a network scan, you never know what you're going to get. Of course, 9 times out of 10, the lead is engaging you because they're in some sort of pain. Something's not working, something failed, a resource has gone offline for an extended period of time. So you really never know what you're going to find. You guys in the MSP space, I know you feel that. Um, and having a decent network scanner helps you find those details and helps you communicate those to your lead.
All right, so let's talk about the roots of Pipsqueak. So you guys, if I'm not mistaken, you guys have an MSP called BTSC, is that right?
BTSG, yes, sir.
Out of Wichita Falls, Texas.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. In
You
oil country.
guys, oil country. All right, well, are you guys getting slammed with pollen right now too?
We are. We have fir trees all around town. So if you have allergies or you have problems in that arena, I would avoid Wichita Falls for a couple of days.
Or maybe like a month or two?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit for sure.
I got you. Well, I'm in South Carolina and I feel your pain. So we have a lot of pollen. A lot of the flowers are in bloom now, and
Yeah,
everything is yellow. So that nasty, disgusting yellow. But the good news is pool season opens up right after pollen season. So everything gets clean, and then it's nice for the summer.
for sure.
So awesome. Well, so tell us a little about, you guys run an MSP in Wichita Falls, Texas. Tell us a little bit about why you created Pipsqueak Network Scanner and how it came to be.
Well, we created Pipsqueak primarily because, um, let me back up. We've been in business since 2007, and
Okay.
and all this time we've tried numerous network scanners and reporting tools. For those of you guys that started in the early 2010s, you know that the industry's changed quite a bit. Um, SaaS has developed a great deal, but one of the common denominators that we found with most of them is uh, uh, they aren't necessarily very good at designing custom reports or um, having actionable intel for the client that is easy to digest and easy for the client to go ahead and act upon. There's nothing worse than going into a sales meeting with a client, telling them what you think is important, and it coming off like technobabble to the client. And
Right.
of course, if you don't understand something while somebody is talking to you, um, you feel like the other person is trying to overwhelm you with their knowledge, and that just doesn't work from a sales perspective. Um,
And
you
let's be
you
honest, the client hires us because they aren't technical. So
exactly,
why would you throw technical jargon at them?
exactly, and this is a major trap in the industry, especially for sales folks who are new to IT, being thrown into a meeting with a lead in the MSP space. If the salesperson doesn't know the tech, well, then they're having to translate what they don't know into something the client doesn't know. So it's a double negative, and you end up losing a lead. So that was a problem that we were trying to overcome with this product.
All
Um,
right. So, how many tools typically before Pipsqueak were involved in getting a full picture of a network?
Well, originally uh, we would go onto a site, and like many of our peers in our mastermind group, we would end up taking pictures of all the resources. Then we would run a network scanner to try and see what we couldn't take a picture of. Um, and then we would download the file that scanner uh, uh, created onto a thumb drive, and we'd bring it back to our office where we would upload it into another tool to build out a report. This is pretty standard stuff over the last 10 or 15 years. Um, we learned the hard way, take pictures of everything, because, if you don't, then the scanner doesn't pick up one of the gotchas, and you wind up not having a really full picture to review with the client, um, a full image of the network to review with the client. So it is critical that your network scanner actually scans everything and captures everything that can possibly be captured.
Gotcha.
And it is important to try and avoid things like USB drives if possible. Of course, in today's security environment, USB is a no-no. If you can, if you can at all avoid it. Um, Sorry, there's a train going by, guys.
That's all right. Well, Zoom does a great job of blocking out external noise. I can't hear the train. I can just hear you, so
Ooh,
you're good.
here, here, choo choo.
There you go.
But, but anyway, with all that being said, that was the common denominator and the challenges that we were trying to overcome with Pipsqueak.
I got you. Awesome. So, um, how is Pipsqueak different from other network scanners or the old process that you were used to doing in your MSP? It sounds like uh, we've all had to do it, but when you spell it all out like that, of all the steps you have to do to get an
Yeah,
accurate scan and the big picture for the client, it's a lot.
yeah,
So Pipsqueak aims to simplify that whole process, correct?
it does. It does. So one of the things that we wanted to accomplish is to be able to allow you to own the data
Okay.
that the scanner generates. Another sub challenge that we ran into was the scanner would generate a encrypted database file, and we really had no visibility into that database file. It would get uploaded into the tool that we had on our office computer, on our office laptop that we're using on site. That tool would decrypt it and turn it into a report. So instead of doing it that way, we actually built our tool around JSON, which is very common. It's known to all of us, and this tool allows us to export that JSON in a way that you can, if you so choose, edit it, modify it, review it, and compare it with other JSONs taken of the same site at different times.
Okay.
So you have full control over the data. Uh, Pipsqueak does have an encryption feature, so if you want to encrypt that JSON as it's exported out of Pipsqueak, you can do that. You can leave it unencrypted as well. Um,
Awesome.
so
Well, do you have a demonstration that we're going to do? Are you going to be able to let the audience see a demo firsthand?
sure, absolutely. Let me
Awesome.
let me go ahead and share my screen here. Bear with me.
All right.
That's MSP talk for hold on one minute. Oh my
Well, be
goodness.
right back.
Be right back. All right. So right here we have a Windows server, and I believe this one's 2019.
I'm not
Um,
seeing your screen just yet.
I have shared it. Let's see here. Can you see it now?
Yep, I can see it now. Kind of like the
Ooh,
Verizon guy. Can you hear me now? I can see it
yeah.
now.
So I'm going to go ahead and start from square one. So
Okay.
if you're new to this SaaS product, I would recommend going to pipsqueaknetscan.com.
Okay.
And once you go there, you'll be presented with this lovely webpage. And you can start by going ahead and clicking on the free community edition.
So let me
Now,
stop you real quick. I got to ask you a
sure.
question. Tell us the story of the mouse, the mighty mouse.
I think he got it. When our owner Steve Havlin decided to go ahead and create this project,
Okay.
that was what came to his mind, a small but mighty network scanner that did everything we wanted it to do with little fuss. And so
Hence
it
the name
just
Pipsqueak.
it just fits.
All right.
And you
I
know,
like it.
yeah, he created this logo of the mouse, and everybody loved it. So yeah, we stuck it on there. We love it.
I didn't know a mouse could be so cute.
I know, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click on Community Edition,
Okay.
and it's going to ask you for just basic information. So I'm going to put Scott,
All right.
and I'm going to put my email so I get to 2FA.
All right.
And a handy dandy password. Okay, and it will send you a verification code to confirm your email, like all SaaS products should do, and some don't.
The good ones do.
Yeah. And watch those spaces, boys and girls. All right. So when you first log in, of course, we are a SaaS product, and we try and inform our customers and our first time triers about what we offer and the subscriptions. So if you choose to upgrade to Pipsqueak Pro and support us, I definitely appreciate that.
All
But
right. So what's the difference in the original version, the free version, if you will, the community version versus the paid? How does that work?
So the free community version does not have access to what we call our build your own reports module.
Okay.
Uh, and uh, and that's probably the biggest differentiator. The build your own reports module allows you to create templates for reports.
Okay.
So if you want to create a template that's specifically geared towards CMMC, you
Okay.
can do that. And then you can use that template over and over again for all the scans that you do, for all the JSON files that you upload.
Okay.
Um, you can create different looks, different feels. You can emphasize specific things, or you can focus on pricing. So pricing per item. I know, as I said before, one of our biggest things was to communicate uh, technical issues and translate that into business problems that the client could easily understand.
Okay.
Um, that that full customization allows you to do that in a more efficient manner,
Okay.
because nobody understands your client better than you.
That's
So
right.
yeah,
That's the way it should be, at least.
exactly.
Awesome.
So if you're just using Community and you just want to try it out, we do have two branded reports that you can use a generator with,
Okay.
and I'll show you that here in a moment. So you'll see that there's no organizations in your dashboard.
Okay.
Organizations are the leads or the companies that you're going to run the scanner on. To do that, you just go to the admin panel and add yourself an organization.
Okay.
So I'm going to go up here and add an organization, and I'm going to call it Pip Squeak. And you can tell I like to do things beforehand. So let's see here. Pip Squeak.
Makes it easier.
Exactly. And put myself as the point of contact. I'm going to go ahead and create this organization.
All right.
Now, the organization is created. If a lead dies on the vine or for one reason or another it doesn't work out, you can always remove it.
Okay.
And that's, of course, you want to make sure any sort of confidential information is only kept as long as you need to keep it.
Okay.
So you have full ability to clean that out. Um, Also, here in the admin panel, you can set your thresholds. So
Okay.
if you have an RMM, you're familiar with thresholds. This allows you to set what's good, what's medium, and what's bad for each of the individual things that the scanner is looking at. So if you want on the report for it to show up yellow only for certain percentage criteria, you can do that.
Very
You can,
nice.
yeah, you can also, there's a whole lot of different variables and customization that you can do. And if you see fit to do, you can go ahead and create a custom threshold, which some people like to do that. They like to dig specific things out of the JSON and go ahead and build themselves a new threshold.
Okay.
Uh, but we are always updating these. We find new things we want to add to the scanner, uh, and we have a number of items on our roadmap to go ahead and expand the scanner into. So this is something that is always being made better for our customers. So let's see here. I'm going to go back to the dashboard now that I've made the Pipsqueak organization.
So
And
step one is create the organization.
yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. So you can scan a site without doing an organization, but it will only let you export to JSON. It will not let you import it into the portal without having an organization for it. This is key to creating a report in the portal. So I'm going to get a, now that I've made this organization, I'm going to go ahead and download the Pipsqueak scanner.
Okay.
And of course, you can go over here and you can download it from S3. S3 and AWS is what we use to share this. You can also download this from the homepage.
Okay.
So um, and I can go ahead and do that. And I have already pre
Installed it.
pre-downloaded and installed it.
There
So
you go. Awesome.
yeah. Um, be
So just the
aware.
executable.
Exactly, exactly. It will, as part of the install process, it will prompt you for an optional nmap installation. This allows us to identify unknown devices on the network. So if you have security equipment, if you have cameras, keypads, if you have access points, anything that has an IP, if the Pipsqueak scanner sees it, it's going to use Nmap to attempt to identify it.
All right.
Um,
So
and
this definitely needs to be run at the client site on their LAN.
well, you can install it on your technician's laptop and bring it on site, or you can
Okay.
install it on any of the computers that are on the local network. Um, you can
But it needs to
also
be on the LAN. It needs to talk to the LAN.
it needs to be able to see that land.
Yep.
So
Okay.
we have some clients that have Azure servers that are floating in Microsoft's subnets. So as long as there's an active VPN between the site running the scan and the equipment and its subnet, then you'll be able to see that site and identify that hardware. Um, so yeah, we have a number of customers that have their DCs up in Azure. So to be able to access that, you can do it over a VPN.
All right. Very cool.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and execute this, and we'll
There's
just
that mouse again.
yeah,
The
yeah,
mighty mouse.
yeah. I've been telling Steve that we need to have some sort of sound effect for when people click the mouse. something like Yahoo or something like that. And let's see. Depending on the server, if the server doesn't have a lot of resources, it can be slow to start up. Or if I didn't click it fast enough, but I think I did.
You sure you double clicked it?
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh my goodness. Would hate to have a Microsoft Bill Gates little scenario here.
There's just 10,000 people watching, so it's
I know,
no
right?
pressure, no pressure.
Oh my goodness. Open up Task Manager. Yeah, it's open. It's open several times. My instinct, no. Yeah, my instinct was right. Just let it do its thing. Please note, I did not have to end task. It popped
You
up
only
on its
ended
own.
one of them, but I think you might have double clicked it 2 or 3 times, so that's why he had
Oh
so
my
many
goodness.
instances running.
Oh my goodness. So, when you first open the Pipsqueak app, one of the first things you'll notice is the guided wizard setup. So this is specifically for if you're on site and you're wanting to run a quick network scan without any pre-configuration. It will ask you for some basic configuration, but it doesn't go into greater detail, which I'll guide you through a general wizard scan. And let's see here. Let's go next. It does allow you to scan just a local host. If you choose to scan the full network, it will include the local host. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility. Also Active Directory, PII, and the 365 scan. Now, we did mark the PII and the 365 as experimental because we have while it has been included in the scanner since before the new year, um, we do still occasionally find bugs with it. Uh, but it's both scans are where we want them to be as far as their ability to scan a network and their ability to add to the report. So I'll show you how to use these.
Okay, so you just flip the switch for each one you want to
Yes,
run.
sir. And I will also include PII. So the admin credentials, if you have a DC and it is in say Azure, but it's accessible on the local network with VPN, you can just put the host name. So like DC dash 02 or something like that. Whatever the name may be, you can just put it in here. As long as you put in the domain name, which this is the correct domain name for this domain, uh, as long as you put that in and DNS is configured properly on that server, you will be able to see it. If
Okay,
you if you can't see it by just typing the name of the domain controller, I would try and do a ping and make sure DNS is working as it should. If not, I would recommend flushing your DNS or putting in the entire name. So
okay.
uh, home office local.
So that
Uh,
fully qualified domain name would go there.
exactly. But for this server, localhost is just fine. And then your username and your password for whatever your administrator account is. Now, if you don't have this, will the scan for Active Directory pick up much? It'll pick up some. It won't pick up nearly as much as it will if you run it with the credentials and all the information that's requested here. So I am valid. So I'm going to go ahead and click next.
Awesome.
Here it's going to ask me for the 365 authentication. Now I have pre-authenticated, but I'm going to clear that out, and I'm going to show you how to clear it out. If for one reason or another, the computer that you're on is already logged into 365 and
Okay.
you're wanting to run a scan on a customer network, what I would recommend doing is I would recommend going up here to the scan Microsoft 365 and clicking on that little gear and just clicking clear token.
Okay.
Uh, when you do that, it clears that token, and then you can just close out of it, and then you can run the scan wizard again. Now, since I've already put in most of my information, I'll just toggle
So
these
would it
back
be a good
on.
idea to start with that?
Well, it depends on if you're pre-authenticated with 365 on the computer
Oh,
that
I
you're
see.
using. So if you're already logged into like the office.com portal, that's
It's already got the
pre-authenticated.
token.
Exactly, exactly. If you haven't done that and nobody's authenticated, then you don't have to worry about it. Let's see here, and then verify because I want to verify again. Next, and then I'm going to go and authenticate,
Excellent.
and then next. And let's say you go to a site and the person that you're talking to is a COO or CEO of the site. Um, it, all of our scans, no matter if it's localhost, network, scan, AD, all of them do a have I been pawned scan as well as part of that. You can choose to put this in the wizard. So, for instance, well, and then that information will be included in the JSON when you export it.
Okay.
And this is the overview of the scan selections. So, of course, the scan types, uh, network scans, all of the nitty gritty details and the email that you're going to check with Have I Been Pawned. And then you can go ahead and click next to move forward if that's what you want. And then this gives you uh, an overview of what the scan's going to do, and it asks you for permission at the end to go ahead and do it. So consent and privacy and security are very important things. Knowing what your scan is going to access and knowing all the nitty gritty details about what's going to happen is key to running your scan because, well, you don't want the SaaS product to do something you don't want it to do. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. And then it starts scanning. If you have a client looking over your shoulder, and this is something I've experienced before, this is something every technician that runs an assessment scan experiences. You can have this very simplified version of the scan. If you want to see the details and all the stuff, all the things
In real time.
in real time, you can see the log report as it's popping out. So as it's going through all of the items on the site, whether it's uh, checking the users in the AD, making sure people have MFA, whatever it may be doing, you can see that right here. One of the other benefits of the log. So if you're running a scan and for some reason the scanner errors, you'll see that here in ruby red text. So
All right. So you
we
know
do
exactly what failed or where there was a problem.
exactly.
Nice.
So we have a help desk here that's part of our service, and we have prepped and primed the help desk with Pipsqueak support. So anytime that you guys have any issues, you can of course engage us. There is a handy dandy help menu up there, and multiple ways to engage us directly. So I have already run a scan specifically of this domain controller. When I ran it earlier, it took right at about 15 minutes.
Okay.
which that's pretty average for a site this size. Um, Once the scan is complete, this button will just turn to another start.
Okay.
You can choose to go up here and export as encrypted. When this turns to a stop, you will see a pop-up saying that the scan is complete. Do you want to upload? And it'll ask you which organization that you want to upload it to. Bear in mind, again, if you don't have an organization pre-created, it will the drop down won't have anything in it, and you'll need to close that out. But you can still export the JSON in the JSON format, encrypted or otherwise.
Okay.
Um, we felt this was key for the scanner, mostly because, well, if you're going to scan the network, you have full access to that network, and you should have full access to the data that's collected from that network. So whether or not you have an organization created, whether or not you're using the portal, that JSON option is still there for you. So,
Nice.
um, and I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. Okay, and here's that scan 01 JSON I was speaking of. Now I'm going to go back to the portal. And since we're not uploading the scan directly from the app, what I'm going to do is I'm going to browse for it on my computer. So it's going to go,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
software generates the report in the JSON file, and then you go to your dashboard and upload that JSON file.
Yeah, if you're doing it manually. If you're not doing it manually, it'll go ahead and prompt you to go ahead and upload it to an organization once the scan completes.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and upload that, and then you can go to your dashboard and see it. And it's listed right here. It tells you the date and time it was run, uh, tells you the file name, and you can view it if you'd like to. Of course, a lot of people like to view it, and you can go here and see all the nitty gritty details right here. Um, if that's not something that you really want to do, get into the technical googly got, you can go ahead and close that. You can choose to analyze it. It'll tell you where it's at on the score level. Um, you can choose to view recommended actions. I'm going to go to export, and it goes, hey, this is an internal risk scan. Yep, I agree. And I'm going to go to the template section. And there are two report templates that you can choose from. One is a summary, the other is a detailed. I'm going to go ahead and just click summary, and let's see what it pops out. Now, you'll notice that there's this Pipsqueak image right here.
Okay.
Now, if you're using Community and you got this Pipsqueak image, it means you have not added your logo. And you go, Mr. Haviland, where do I need to add my logo? So I'm going to go back on another tab, and I'm going to go into my amend panel, and my tenant, and I'm going to see about adding a logo. Now, if you have a logo for your site, we have not added the ability to upload any files except JSON. But if you have the ability to host your files, this will take URLs and just display the logo in your report. You have an
Okay.
option to add a large logo and an option to add a small logo. And you can add all the information about your MSP right here in your tenant information.
Okay.
Um,
Very cool.
and this will change to your logo. And everywhere you have the logo referenced, uh, it
Will
will
be your
it,
logo.
it'll be your logo. If you
Okay.
want to add the customer's logo, it's much the same way. On the pro version, these are handled via variables, which are listed from a drop-down menu. So you can add uh, You can add the logos as you see fit. On the let's see here, on the free community version, it all of this is locked, so you can see what the Pipsqueak header looks like. You can see what the Pipsqueak footer looks like, but you can't really edit anything in here. I
Okay.
would, if you have interest in editing the report and really getting into visibility of how this looks for your client and getting that custom feel using your company colors and imagery, I would definitely recommend investing in Pro. That'll allow you to do all of that.
Okay.
Um, so just to recap, if you want to view the templates, you would go to export, internal risk, continue to the template, pick the one that you want. This time I'm going to go to detailed.
Okay. Which one
Okay.
would you typically give to the client that doesn't have all the technical jargon in it?
You know, it really depends on the client. I've had some clients which wanted to see it all. They wanted to really feel like they were being submerged in all the things related to IT. And then I've had some customers that they just don't care. They just want it to work, and they want to know what your findings were, what the actionable items that you were able to gather
Just show me the
from
critical
that scan.
results, basically.
Just show me the goods, and um, you know, depending on the customer, I would say probably 80% of the time a summary scan is probably good enough. You will notice that the detailed scan goes over a great deal more, uh, and these elements uh, uh, can be edited in Pipsqueak Pro. You can choose what you're going to see uh, per icon. So whether or not it's backups, whether or not it's hard drive space, whether or not
Mm,
it's EOL machines, you can see all of that. And you can add text if you want explanations of each text. You can make certain elements like text items go white on a green background, which, this would probably be a better idea for that. You can adjust, uh, the whole goal of it was to make it fully customer customizable.
okay.
So, uh, with all that being said, um, and then we would go ahead and export. So I'm going to export report, and I'm going to do it in a PDF.
Nice.
And depending on how big your full report is, which this is a full report, it might take about a minute or so, but it's building a PDF. So,
All right.
um, if you're concerned, and I know mine is with most of the SaaS products I use, if you're concerned as security, uh, feel secure knowing that we do use AWS S3 storage and we encrypt everything going and coming. So if it gets uploaded directly from the scanner using the wizard and the pop-up window when you complete a report, it is encrypted before it leaves, and then it's encrypted again when it arrives. Um,
Nice.
we take security very seriously, and I
And
do
so
not.
this is the report that the client would typically receive.
Yeah, so of course you'd want to put in your logo, but uh, of course, you don't see the header or the footer until the page it's set to start on. You can put whatever elements you want into the header or footer. We do have widgets that allow you to showcase the categories of data that you're looking at that can go into either one, or they can just go on the individual pages themselves. The key findings summary is a widget. Uh, we've taken a lot of pride in creating widgets for about every category. So if you do not want to create your own table listing out the backup status of a site, you can use a widget. And you can select which columns are visible to the client. You can select what those global color variables are. You'll notice I use green, yellow, and red a lot. You can adjust that to different colors if you want.
All right.
Um, I have a background in design, so that was very important for me to be able to have that full control over all the elements of design in the tool. Um, it does do full pagination. You'll notice that this report is landscape. You can change it from landscape to portrait if you want. It's up to everybody has their own preferences as far as design goes. I find landscape is easier to display table information, and it's easier to explain this to the client. When you're looking at the full report, you just get all of the detail. Um, the full detailed report is not going into risk assessments. It's not going into cost assessments like, oh, 30% of my employees don't have MFA. What type of risk am I currently subject to? Well, the full report won't tell you the risk. The summary report will.
Okay.
And that's how I've designed it at this point. Also, the summary report goes over some of the most common MSP items that we have run into. Now, of course, your site, your MSP may run into a different common denominator of common items, which it makes sense to create a custom report for you guys. Maybe you deal in telephony, maybe you deal in MSSP stuff, maybe you focus primarily on CMMC. Well, you can engineer a report that goes over the most common items or just over the nitty gritty details of the detailed report. So
So highly customizable.
very much so, very much so. And what if you have a chart that does not display any information? There's nothing available, no backups for a site because backups weren't enabled from the AD. Well, if that's so, the report can be made, the page can be made to be dependent on that table. So if the table doesn't have any information, the page doesn't show up. I don't know about you, Scott, but I know myself when I've run scans before, one of the most annoying things is when I'm in a meeting with a client and there's 3 or 4 empty pages.
That's right.
And it's like, what do you do about that? Well, this resolves that problem. You don't have to be there waiting on the client to just flip through the pages. So um, that's the detailed report. I'm not going to go through all these because of course you can see there's an awful lot. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Okay.
Full customizability and full control over your data. That's the takeaway. That's the key takeaway.
Awesome. Well, Kyle, this has been very, very good and eye-opening about what Pipsqueak Network Scanner can do for MSPs and their potential clients, or the organizations that they want to run a scan on. What if we've got a MSP who is interested in using and getting started with Pipsqueak? What is the best way that they can do that?
Well, I would say the first step is to go to pipsqueaknetscan.com and
Okay.
open up a community account. They're free. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can try out the software. You can try out the free templates. If you want to get that full customizability, if you want to be able to generate your own templates, you can move up to Pro. We've we're a new kid on the block with SaaS, and so we've priced ourselves accordingly. We're very reasonable. We're for any MSP at this point, and the tools that you get with Pro uh, are powerful, and they do make a difference. So if you're just wanting to get started, I would definitely try out the community version, and uh, and definitely if you want to get serious, if you want to have that level of customizability, I'd recommend Pro.
Awesome. Well, and hey, if you are watching this and you do engage with Pipsqueak Network Scanner, be sure to let the guys over at Pipsqueak know that you heard about them at IT Business Owners Group. ITBOG. Awesome. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it. And we will have to do this again in about a month.
All right, all right.
Well, I'll be excited to learn what's new with Pipsqueak.
Oh my goodness! On a scale from 1 to 10, how'd I do?
Oh, you did great. Let me end this video here.